So, what if we just stopped thinking about weight management as a diet and started seeing it as a skill? Something you actually learn, you practice, and you get better at over time. That's the whole idea behind the Cultivating Health Guide. It completely reframes this journey, not as some big battle of willpower, but as a process of building new, healthier habits, one step at a time.
It really all starts with a question I'm pretty sure you've asked yourself before. Why in the world is it so incredibly hard to change a habit, especially one you've had for years? Logically, it feels like it should be simple, but yeah, our brains often have other plans.
Okay, this little experiment illustrates the point perfectly. Go on, try this with me right now. Just fold your arms across your chest. Simple, right? You probably didn't even think about it. Now look down and see which arm is on top. Got it? Okay, unfold, and now fold them again, but put the other arm on top. Feels weird, doesn't it? Kind of clumsy and awkward? You had to stop and consciously think about how to do it. That little bit of discomfort? That's exactly what it feels like to override a deeply programmed habit.
And that brings us right to the heart of the weight management puzzle. See, the real problem isn't always the food itself. It's the hidden, automatic habits that put the food on our plate in the first place. It's all the choices we make on total autopilot without even realizing we're making them.
The guide has a brilliant name for this: eating amnesia. And isn't that just perfect? It's when you're grabbing a snack while you're working, eating a meal in front of the TV, or, suddenly realize you finished a whole bag of chips without really tasting a single one. You're eating, sure, but your brain isn't really there. And this autopilot mode, it can completely sabotage even our best intentions.
And this slide, wow, this shows exactly how that eating amnesia can play out. It's a sample diary from the guide, but look closely at the emotion column. A donut because you're tired, fast food when you're anxious, an energy drink to fight that afternoon slump, and then snacks just out of sheer boredom. In the moment, every single one of those choices probably felt justified. But let's see how they add up.
And boom, they add up to this, almost 4,000 calories. When you see that final number, it's pretty shocking. But here's the thing, without actually tracking it, without being aware, it is so easy for a day like this to just happen. This right here is that aha moment where you suddenly realize just how powerful simple awareness can be.
So if the problem is that we're running on autopilot, then the solution has to start with our mindset. It's all about learning a new way to think about the process of change itself. Think of this as a map for that journey. The stages of change model shows us that real, lasting change doesn't happen in a single leap. You might start out in denial, then move to just thinking about it. Then you start making a plan, but look at step 6, relapse. It's right there on the map. A setback isn't a failure. It's a normal, predictable part of the process. Just knowing that can take away so much of the guilt and help you get right back on track. This quote is basically the golden rule for this entire approach. So often we aim way too high, way too fast. We try to overhaul our entire life at once, get completely overwhelmed, and then just give up. The advice here is just brilliant. Make your goals small enough that you feel at least 80% sure you can do it. That's how you build real, lasting momentum. Okay, so we've got the right mindset. Now we need the right tools. Seriously, think of it like you're gearing up for a big trip. You wouldn't try to climb a mountain without the right equipment, right? Well, you shouldn't try to build new habits without having the right support systems in place either.
And here is your essential toolkit. It's a mix of practical stuff and mental strategies. But the most powerful tool to start with? Keeping records. Just like that diary we saw. It is the #1 way to fight that eating amnesia and finally see your patterns clearly. But also notice how important supports, reminders, and positive self-talk are. It's truly a whole-person approach.
It's also super important to know what's actually driving you. Are you motivated by moving away from something you don't want, like poor health or low energy? Or are you motivated by moving towards something you do want, like having more energy to play with your kids? Both are incredibly powerful, and figuring out your personal why is what will keep you going when the journey gets a little tough. All right, with our mindset and our tools ready to go, let's talk strategy. And I want to be clear, this is not about creating some giant, long list of foods you can never eat again. Nope. This is about making smarter choices, understanding a little more about how food works, and finding a balance that actually feels good and is sustainable for the long haul. This is such a fantastic example of a smart strategy. I mean, look at this. It's the exact same potato, but a plain baked potato is about 164 calories.
The moment you slice it up and deep fry it, all that added fat pushes the calorie count to nearly 600. It's not about banning potatoes, it's about choosing a preparation method that actually lines up with your goals.
And that same idea applies to fats, too. Not all fats are bad. You've got healthier ones, like what you find in avocados and olive oil, and then you have riskier fats, like the trans fats often hiding in fried and processed foods. The key is to try and replace the riskier fats with the healthier ones, and of course, always be mindful of your portion sizes, even with the good stuff.
Now, to make all these smart choices, the nutrition label is basically your new best friend. And the very first thing you should always look at, the serving size. That's because all the other numbers on that label, the calories, the sugar, the fat, are for one serving. But that little bag or box you're holding might have 2, 3, or even more servings in it. It's such an easy trap to fall into.
Now let's talk about the other side of the equation, physical activity. The general recommendation is about 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity every week. I know, that number can sound kind of intimidating at first, but let's break it down. That's really just 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And it doesn't have to be a hardcore gym session. A brisk walk on your lunch break, dancing around the living room to your favorite songs, it all counts.
And that brings us to our final and honestly, maybe the most important section of all. Because no matter how perfectly you plan, there are gonna be setbacks. It's just part of being human. The secret isn't trying to avoid them, it's learning how to navigate them with compassion and get yourself right back on your new path.
The guide uses this absolutely brilliant poem to describe the learning process. It starts with Chapter 1. We're walking along, totally unaware. We fall right into the trap of an old habit, and we feel helpless, like it's not even our fault.
Then comes Chapter 2. We know the hole is there, but we fall in anyway. This is that frustrating phase, right? It's where we know what we're supposed to do, but that old habit is just so powerful. We feel completely stuck. Chapter 3. This is the turning point. This is awareness in action. We still fall in, but this time our eyes are wide open. We recognize the pattern as it's happening. We know it's a habit, we know it's our responsibility, and because of that, we get out immediately. We don't waste time lingering in guilt.
And then Chapter 4 arrives. Success. We see the hole, that trigger, that old habit, and we make a new, conscious choice. We walk around it. We finally built a new, healthier response.
But this is the line that really stays with you. Chapter 5, I walk down another street. This suggests that true, deep, lasting change isn't just about getting better at avoiding the old traps. It's about creating a whole new life, with new routines and new habits, where those old holes aren't even on your daily path anymore. And that is a really powerful thought to end on.